up, ladies and gentlemen? Cards here once again from GM Games, bringing you some more Draft Day Sports College Basketball 2024 as we continue our stream rebuilding the Louisville Cardinals. And you can see here the past couple of times I took it like through the end of the tournament and just needed to stop. Last time we streamed, we got all the way through the offseason. We actually got all the way through recruiting. So here we sit on October 2nd. We've gotten through this season's recruiting. We have not yet gotten to the games. So we'll see tonight how far we get. Very much depends on the time. I've got a pretty strict time I've got to get off tonight. But we got about an hour and a half, give or take, depending on how things go. You know, we got all the assistant coaches upstairs, and I'll keep an ear to the ceiling and see what happens up there. Maybe we can stretch it out. Maybe we can't. We'll see what happens. While we're warming up, while we're getting the tweets out, while we're letting people know that we're live, you know, people are checking their notifications and seeing what's going on. We will take a quick look. Let's look at the recruit ranks first. See who we're bringing in. So you see we're ranked third here in the ACC, and fourth is quite distant. So really, North Carolina, Miami, and Louisville really raked in the recruits this year. Obviously, our big recruit was B.B. Harrison, number 5 in the country. He was top 25 at Indy, but we're pretty excited about Mr. Harrison. We also have a 5-star here in the center, Warren Rush. He was the MVP at Memphis, which is always exciting, and I don't believe he actually went to Indy. Will Riddick, a 3-star guy. He was in the top 25 at Memphis, decent at Indy. So, not terrible. We'll take what we can get. And then Brett Wainwright, power forward coming in, and he's top 25 at Indy. So, pretty good player, and probably, you know, if he gets his playing time and has a decent attitude, probably a 4-year player. So, excited about Brett Wainwright. You can see here the only position we did not bring in this year is a point guard. That's also really the biggest sore spot on our current roster. All we have is the transfer that we brought in, Michael Miller. So we do have a couple of backup guys. We're redshirting Braun. I'm playing Jay Williams, the backup minutes at the point. And then you can see the type of depth we have across the rest of the team. We've got Greenberg starting at the 2, with being backed up by Shen. Cole at the 4, or at the 3 rather, as a senior, being backed up by another senior, Lance Walton. We did decide during the last stream, there was no way around it. We absolutely had to start Angelo Seaman, so he will start at the 4 for us. And you can see why we absolutely had to start him. Killer inside, decent mid-range, great scorer, great defensive ability, the rebounding, the shot blocking. You can't keep this guy off the court, and he's got the cleanup. So we are starting him at the 4. We're letting Danny Brown play the backup minutes. Mike Robbins might not be playing. At least not a whole lot. So, got to keep an eye out. He might end up transferring. You never know. And then, of course, we got the man, Jamie Davenport. And you can see here, you know, he doesn't really have that mid-range outside game that Seaman does, but he can still score. He's a heck of a rebounder. He's got the defensive ability. He's proven time and time again you can't take this guy off the court. He knows all of our offense. He knows our defense. This dude is a stud. All ACC first teamer in 2027, ACC Player of the Year in 2027, and an All-American second teamer. So Jamie Davenport, you're not taking him off the court. You're not taking over his position. I don't care how much of a big-time freshman you are. That's how we're going to roll. We do already have our depth chart set up, and this is set up the way that I want to have it set up. Yeah, because we're redshirting Braun. I was double-checking those 2-star point guards, but redshirting Braun, letting Williams get some minutes in here, and the rest of this, you know, I'm all right with it. So I think that's about it, guys. That's our overlook of where we were. Take a look at recruiting. We've seen what we have coming in next year. Obviously, you know, we need either Williams or Braun to develop a little bit in behind Miller. Otherwise, we do have a slight issue losing both our senior small forwards. We're bringing in a good small forward. You know, we're bringing in B.B. Higgins, which is going to cause some disruption at some of these positions. And you never know, maybe he's a guy that can play the point. We'll find out. But let's get through our practice recruiting sessions and into this season. I'm excited to see how it plays out. I think we got a pretty good squad, and how far we can go is really going to be dependent on what kind of play we get out of our point. And one thing while I'm thinking of it, we are going heavy into this motion, and we do have a lot of players that can run it. Not so much our point guard, which is problematic. So we actually have 2 starters at 20. So we are going to back off of this down to about 65, as low as I really want to see it. And we're going to slightly favor the inside just because we have 2 extremely dominant big men. So we're going to see this year, back off the outside a little bit. We've got some inexperience out here. Get into that motion, get it down low, let the big men finish. So just a slight tweak. You always have to tweak that strategy from year to year, just depending on what you got coming back, what your roster looks like, what the experience is. Defensively, I think we don't really need to make any kind of changes. We're running a ton of man. It's nothing to this. Keep on rocking, guys. We'll jump over to the office and sim from there because we're just simming practice right now. We're gonna get to the games real shortly, though. Here in about 2 weeks. Oh, and just anybody that still has questions about the recruiting, we did have the 1 scholarship left over. So we could have brought in some other point guard, but all the guys we had camp data on had already committed elsewhere. So we didn't want to just blindly waste a scholarship and throw one out there. We're holding on to it. Maybe we go through the transfer portal. Maybe we pick up somebody next year. That extra scholarship helps us out, but I don't like wasting scholarships on guys. And you can see we've got some pretty lofty goals. Sign a 4-star recruit, got that one taken care of. So now we got to reach the Final Four, win the conference tournament, win 20 games. That one should be very doable, and improve school prestige. Now, ordinarily at Louisville, that's a little bit difficult. In this save, I can't remember exactly how high we have it now. We're at 71. So if we have the type of year that I expect to have, we will raise that prestige. I expect this absolutely to be a Sweet 16 type of team, and then we just see where we go from there. There's no guarantees past that point, especially when you have 2 new starters and that starting point guard being a new player to the squad certainly is a concern especially when it comes to playing neutral in road games. I think we'll be a dominant team at home probably, but here, starting off on the road against a ranked team, it's going to depend on how real this ranking is. Sometimes it's not real this early in the year. The net certainly suggests there's a difference, but I don't know how good the net is this early in the year either. So we'll see. This is a toss-up, honestly. Oh, good to see that. Well, not good to see Jamie Davenport injured right off the bat. So before I could even get it a little bit excited, before you can even get a little bit excited that we got a nice road victory against a ranked team right out of the gate, now we got to go see what's wrong with our All-American big man. The screen doesn't tell us. Which screen tells us? It's one click away. Alright, sprained toe, 15 days. He'll be fine. You can play on that, big man. Not going to worry too much about that one. Alright, 1-0. Nice little road victory to start it out. Who knows how important that'll end up in the long run, but when you don't know how good your team is and how good your opponent is, you'd rather win than lose. So we'll take it. Take what we can get and move on. Home game against NKU. We should be able to take care of this. Should. It's always a dangerous word, that should. Now, let's check it out. 76-50. Big man, even on the sprained toe, getting stuff done. Greenberg. He didn't score, but what was it? Was that rebounds or assists? Greenberg went double digits somewhere that you don't normally see a 2-guard go. Whether that was assists or rebounds, I couldn't tell. I'm sure somebody's watching the stream screaming like, it was rebounds. All right, 2-0. Can't ask for a better start to the year. Let's get Davenport healthy before we have any kind of big-time out-of-conference games. It's November 19th. See what we got coming up. Oh, got a bunch of emails, so our LOIs are coming in. Texas Tech at Auburn. I'd like to have him back before we go to Auburn. I don't know if he will be 100% before then or not. Shoot, I would have liked to have him back before we go to Texas Tech, if we're being honest. Their net rating looks like garbage, but again, this early in the year, that can be pretty deceptive. We're up to number 13. Still doesn't mean much. The rankings, I don't really feel like mean all that much until January. And that's not a criticism of this game. You know, in real life, I don't feel like the rankings mean a whole lot until you get into January. So, anyway, we're ranked number 13. The Louisville Cardinals on the road playing the Texas Tech 1-0. One home game, 289 in the net. Let's see what happens here. Again, still a toss-up to me. 80-70, okay. We keep winning these toss-ups, I'll take it. Angelo Seaman playing well, coming out of the gate as a freshman. Love to see that. Davenport still leading the way regardless of the sprained toe. So maybe he's one of the little toes. Maybe he's one that doesn't matter as much, you know. If he sprained a big toe, he might be hurting. But, he sprained your pinky toe or something. Man, it's not that big of a deal. You can play on that, tape it up, move on. Wear some different shoes or something. I don't know. You're a big man. Just go be tall. Go dunk it or something. You know, jump off the other foot and dunk it. You'll be good. Let's see if we can get through November unscathed. What's up? Is this C rolling? How you doing, buddy? Glad to have you in the stream. 3-0. This doesn't appear to be a tournament game, so you know we've played a number of true road games here early in the season, even against some Power 5 opponents. Is it still Power 5 or is it Power 4 now? Because the Pac's gone, right? I don't know. Auburn's in the SEC. They're still a real deal conference. So on the road against Auburn, yet another coin flip. Can we keep winning? Whoo, yeah. Keeps coming up tails. Angelo Seaman and Jamie Davenport. Moving on to 4-0. And surely these out-of-conference road games have got to dry up soon, right? Do we get some home games at some point to kind of get our footing underneath of us? What's up, Slick Rick? MBB asks, is this a new stream? Yeah, I'm streaming right now. This is live. I can't remember if this is the 4th or 5th stream into this save. But we're live right now. Live for GM Games, bringing you Draft Day Sports College Basketball 2024. I believe we're still in early access. I honestly haven't checked the forums lately. I've been having too much fun playing the game. I don't even know if I'm on the latest version, if I'm being honest. My guess is probably not. They tend to update a few times in the early access, and I know I haven't oh no, actually I take that back. I've got to be on the current version because this year they implemented a new thing where if you open the game up and you're not on the newest version, it gives you a pop-up screen warning. So I didn't get that when I opened the game. So this is the current version. Although I still don't know if it's I still think it's early access, but I haven't checked. This is the 4th one. All right, I appreciate you following me, man. I'm having fun with this one. We're bringing Louisville back, and here we go on the road again against Washington State. So they're 3-1 on the year. Let's see if we can survive. It's always a big ask to have a team go across the entire continental U.S. and play a game. That time zone change just doesn't work out, whether it's West Coast going east or East Coast going west. It never works. And if you look here, it's not letting up anytime soon. We got Cincy at home next. That might be, you know, that's as let up as it gets. And then we're on the road in Lexington against a highly ranked UK squad. So we're trying. One more win. We're through November unscathed. The Cards and the Cougars from Washington. Hey, we got it. Jamie Davenport, nearly a double-double. Greenberg and Cole chipping in. So we make it through November, and we're 5-0. We're ranked number 11 in the country right now. Feel pretty good about it. I don't think, well, I don't want to say I don't think we're number 11. I still don't take too much credit in that ranking is what I mean to say. It's still too early in the year for all of that to have really shaken out yet. So, you know, for the first time all season, and of course I'm going to say this and I'm going to jinx myself and we're going to lose, but for the first time in a while, we get a home game. And, you know, since he's not ranked, I don't want to take that for granted. Just because you're ranked highly or you're not ranked at all in November, early December, doesn't matter. Anything can happen. But being at home, I feel like we have a strong team. Cincy is 4-2, and then we got Oregon State, who's undefeated. All right, maybe the AD doesn't like me. Maybe the AD's trying to get me out of here. I don't know what's going on. This schedule's just legit. I never pay attention to the scheduling preseason, honestly. I just figure I'll roll with whatever I get. If I'm going to have the type of team that I want that's going to compete for Final Fours and championships, you just deal with your preseason. You don't worry about it. You figure if you're that good of a team, you'll win the games, right? So that's kind of how I roll. And even though this team isn't as good as I expect them to eventually be right now, because we are still in the low 70s prestige, eventually we're going to get into the high 80s, low 90s, and then we truly will not worry about our preseason guys, or not our preseason, our out-of-conference games. But the Cincinnati Bearcats coming down to Louisville. Going to relive some old Conference USA rivalry days. Back when we had Bob Huggins and Denny Crum up and down the sidelines. The Bearcats coming into the Yum Center. Woo, they gave us a scare at home. That's a legit team. 70-66. So I was a little bit worried as soon as I hit play and I saw their net ranking was pretty good. So that net might be solid. You're running forward to A&M. You ever your coach growth, like not the elite. I used to do the coach growth where you start off at like 35 overall or whatever and do the journeyman. And I found that it was just a grind. Like, all you really do is pick a smaller school and grind it out. You grind up your ratings. Maybe you move up to a middling school. And I don't want to diminish the way that anybody else wants to play. But I like being at the elite levels. I like chasing the elite recruits. And I like being able to tinker with these strategies and know, hey, it's not my coach that's messing up this strategy. And it's not my players that are messing up this strategy. It's that the strategy you're trying isn't effective, right? And so, I like to, I guess I'm trying to tinker and like learn things about the game without adding in too many other factors. It's like anybody that knows economics has ever heard the phrase ceteris paribus. Like, it's a Latin thing meaning all other things equal. So I like to keep all other things equal when I'm tinkering. So if I've got elite players and I've got an elite coach, then I know, okay, when you made this change is the reason that you're seeing this. Not because you were trying to run, a high-paced, high-pressing offense with a bunch of guys that didn't know how to do it and a coach that couldn't teach it. Whereas that could really hose you, So I used to do it. I don't anymore. If you still enjoy it, you still like that play style, you do you. Everybody enjoys these games in their own way. So that being said, I believe we're coming up against the Wildcats in Lexington from Rupp Arena. It's coming up. Still got 2 more days. December 13th. That's a little bit earlier than I feel like they play it in real life a lot of times. Not too much. They have played it that early, I believe. But a little bit earlier than normal. Usually I feel like it's a little bit closer to Christmas, if not maybe even after. But we're about to find out what's up. A very, very highly ranked Kentucky team. And, especially with starting 2 freshmen and being on the road in Rupp. Really, this is probably should be a loss. I would say that the odds are stacked against us. But stranger things have happened. Not today, though. Kentucky prevails 77-70. Seaman tried. Don't know where Davenport was. Looks like the big man got shut down. And Kentucky takes the win. So our first defeat at the hands of our bitter rivals, the Kentucky Wildcats. But they look like an elite team this year. Number 3 in the country, still undefeated. And that's always going to be tough to beat on the road with a younger point guard. It just is. There's no way around that. And, you can overcome that, but you have to have elite players And I mean, Davenport's a second-team All-American, so I don't want to claim that he's not elite. But we could go look at where his recruit ranking was. Like, he's not the one-and-done type elite. He's a senior, right? So I'm talking, when I'm saying elite, I mean like top 10 draft pick in Draft Day Sports Pro Basketball 2024. If we're looking at the top 10 draft picks, those one-and-done guys, that's the type of elite I'm talking about. Those type of guys can overcome a lot of things. And we don't have that on this team yet. We're getting there. I'd love to be recruiting them soon. I don't know if it'll be this stream, but I do think it might be next stream. And that depends on how long we go. And like I said, I got my ear to the ceiling, listening for the assistant coaches. If they're giving the coach's wife too much grief, then maybe we cut it short. And we're playing it fast and loose here tonight. But for now, we got Oregon State coming into the Yum Center. Let's see if we can bounce back. We're actually number 1 in the net right now. But look, they're undefeated and 18 in the net. So forget about this ranking, the 16 versus the unranked. This is a legit team. This is a tough game, and I'm thankful that we're at home for it. This would be extremely tough, neutral or road, and it's not going to be easy at home. This could very well be a loss. But if we're going to have the type of season that I want to have, let's see if we can take care of Oregon State at home. It's not a given. Oh, very, very close. And you can see there the seniors and Davenport and Cole got us across the finish line. That was a close one. Oregon State's a very, very talented team this year. My goodness. What a grueling preseason. To come out of that 7-1, just looking at that schedule on paper, you got to think, hey, you might be 6-2. You might even be 5-3 coming out of that. To come out of it 7-1, that feels pretty good. And especially knowing where our youth is, I feel like he's going to develop throughout the year. Especially the way that we have the offense designed on this save. In the past, I've really split it up between 2 different offensive sets. We play them again. Now we got to play them out. What is this? This AD hates us. Back-to-back against Oregon State. We barely survived them at home. Now we got to go on a neutral court in one of the early season tournaments. So the Beavers of Oregon State immediately get a chance at revenge. Now, there's NBA teams that can't beat teams back-to-back. This one's going to be tough for us. Oh, but we got them even better. We got them even better. 7 points. Now another neutral game. Same tournament. All right, so that was a good win. Now we got the undefeated Aggies. See if we can hand them their first defeat of the year. Hard to say how this one breaks. 8-1 versus 9-0. The Aggies and the Cardinals in the whatever this is tournament. Oh, we fall a point short. 1 point away from sending this one to OT. That's one Kent State foul on full court when they think they're tied or down and they're actually winning by 1. And you lose a championship over that, right? Was that Kent State? That was ugly, man. I felt real bad for that kid. All right, so we're rolling on through December. We might get through the new year at 8-2. I didn't see if we've got any more games before the end of this year. But we're still rocking and rolling. 8-2 is pretty good for us right now. I feel good about it. We still got Virginia Tech. So we got to play the Hokies. And now you see, we're toward the end of December, getting into January, and we're hovering around this number 15. And, I said at the top of the stream, I feel like this is a team that you try to get to the Sweet 16, then you just see what happens. If you're one of the top 16 teams in the country, you expect a 4 seed. That's, you're getting seeded into the Sweet 16, theoretically. Hokies on the road. Now we'll kind of start seeing where we're at. This doesn't seem like a fantastic team. They are at home. can we win games like this? We need to win games like this. And we very handily won that one. Angelo Seaman with a big-time double-double, baby. Davenport dropping points, but Seaman leads the way, player of the game, 16 and 15, I believe it was. So Angelo showing everybody why we couldn't leave him on the bench, had to get him into that starting lineup, and he really helped us out there on the road to open up ACC play, get us to 9-2 to bring an end to 2028. You know, there's no games for us left. We'll play Virginia in the new year, but for now, flip on the television, you know, watch the ball drop, crack open the champagne. We're headed into 2029, baby. Happy New Year. You got the Virginia Cavaliers coming into Louisville. We're holding on to that #1 net. So you can see both our losses were against strong teams. I wouldn't be surprised if both of those don't end up being quad 1 losses. You know, the Kentucky one, obviously, in my opinion, is going to be a quad 1 loss. And I believe that A&M ended up winning that tournament that we were in. So the Cavaliers coming into the Yum Center to face the number 14 Louisville Cardinals. Virginia at 8-5 on the year. 0-2 in the ACC, pretty low in the net. Gotta win this. You can't slip up against teams like this. It can really affect your seed at the end of the year. Oh, and we don't let up. Jamie Davenport, don't let up. Angelo Seaman, don't let up. Woo. Woo. Let's take a look at 89-45. We nearly double up the Virginia Cavaliers. So that's what we're talking about. That feels real good. Doubling up a team like Virginia, even if they're not great. You know, they're 0-3 now in the ACC, so I'd say they're not great. But you double up anybody, especially, you know, it's one thing. No, I take it back. Anytime you double up somebody, it's a big game. 89-45. My goodness. And we're still only in January. These freshmen are only getting better. They're only going to develop more and more and more. Look at Charlotte knocking off Memphis. I see you, 49ers. All right, so now we've got a rather average-looking Georgia Tech team. Below 500 overall. Again, games like this you can't lose, especially at home. Not losing it. Came real close to doubling up back-to-back, 82-45. So we are taking care of business at home against bad teams that we should be beating. Well, look at Duke. Duke's going to be in that category. Boston College going to be in that category. NC State might also. ACC, the bottom of the ACC looks like hot garbage. And the top of it, like Clemson looks tough. North Carolina even looks sort of tough. All right, here, headed to Duke. They're 4-10. But you can never take it for granted that you're going to win at Cameron Indoor. Doesn't matter how bad Duke is. You know, the Cameron crazies get going. Anything can happen, especially on the road with that freshman point guard. Obviously, that's my biggest concern at this point in the season, is making sure that he's developing so that he's ready for March. But let's see if he can handle the heat in Cameron. Yeah. Greenberg. Michael Miller actually shows up with 13 points, so good to see that. Nice little 24-point win, and we beat a bad Duke team who we should beat. But again, it just sort of reinforces what we're feeling like. We're right here competing at the top of the ACC. We got 4 teams still undefeated in ACC play, and now it gets serious. Now we're number 2 in the net, Clemson number 6. This should be a Clemson victory. Should be. Give my point guard 2 more months to develop and give me a neutral court. Maybe we take the Tigers. But at this point in the season, from Little John Coliseum, it's going to be tough. Not that it can't happen, but I do not expect it to. Oh, but it does. 12 points. Jamie Davenport. Amir Greenberg with a double-double. So we get 2 double-doubles out of Greenberg and Davenport. And we say, hey, Cards, believe in your boys, baby. You got to believe in us. Take a nice little victory out of Clemson. So now it's getting serious. It's getting serious. Let's take a look at how Miller's strategy is developing here. He's up to 41. You know, so not fantastic. I still feel like this is the appropriate amount to be running this set. He's probably going to get up to 50, maybe mid 50s by tournament time, and I just don't know that we can really up that. Where's Seaman? Seaman at 45. Yeah, I think we're about where we're going to have to stay, which isn't ideal. I think that ends up hurting for sure. I'd really like to be at 70 or 75 by tournament time in an ideal situation, but, you know, and I keep referring to Miller as a freshman. He's not a freshman. He's a sophomore point guard, but he was a transfer this year, so he's a first-year player in our system. All right, only 5:38. We're rolling through this stream. We'll see how far we can get before the. We got the, we won against the Cameron Crazies. I don't know what the Cards Kids Crazies upstairs are doing, but it doesn't sound like any emergencies yet. So we're rolling. Look, unranked Wake Forest sitting at the top of the ACC at 6-0. I see you, Wake. The Cardinals and the Tar Heels from the Dean Dome. All right. Well, top 25 matchup, another road test. We keep on trucking. They're number 17 in net. So, again, solid squad. Solid squad. Let's see what we got. Come on, Cards. Pull it together, baby. Win one for the Gipper. Ooh, 87-73. You won it big. Michael Miller says, I'm coming on, coach. Jamie Davenport, 16-10. Does he ever do anything different? Jamie Davenport's always there. Whether he's got a little sprained little pinky toe or not, he's always just being a beast on the inside, on the boards. And again, Miller showing out on the road against a real good team. Feels good, man. It feels real good. Now we got NC State. They're hovering around 500. I believe, yeah, they're 1-6 in the ACC. So not a lot of quality here. Always scary on the road. Got to win these games. Let's make this happen. Where you at, Jamie? Where you at, Miller? 97-71. Jamie Davenport says, I'm right here. I'm right here. I got 29 points. What do you mean, where am I at, coach? What are you talking about? We did have an injury there. Let's go check that out. Is that in strategy? No. Over here. All right, mild concussion, 8 days. He's only playing 8 minutes a game. We're all right with that. So let's jump back into the Sims. All right, 7-0 in conference. Standing along with Wake Forest as the only two undefeated conference teams at this point. Still just hovering around. Now we're at number 11 in the country. Still really good looking in the net. Playing against a good Pitt team, not a great Pitt team, and playing at home. So I just keep saying it. And until we have superstars across the lineup, until we have really experienced point guards, I'm not going to take anything for granted. You got to win these games. Eventually I'll get real excited and real confident. As of right now, cautiously optimistic is the two words of the day. The Pitt Panthers coming into the Louisville Cardinals Yum Center from downtown Louisville. Show the Louisville sign. Show them the Louisville Slugger 120-foot bat. Let's see it. The Panthers and the Cardinals. Another top 25 matchup. Another 20-point victory for the Cardinals. Another 28 points for Jamie Davenport. This man can't be stopped. He's ridiculous. The second-team All-American from last year. ACC Player of the Year. Absolutely campaigning to be the ACC Player of the Year back-to-back years. Jamie Davenport throwing it down for the Cardinals, who move on to 16-2. 16-2. 8-0 in conference. Right now, we're on a collision course with Wake. When do we play Wake? Wake's finally into the top 25. They come in at number 23. I just realized my mic has been up and my light has been off the whole time. It's probably one of the lowest quality streams you're going to get. I was in a rush to get on, and kind of completely blew that one. And Chris wasn't online to set me right. He's in travel mode right now, so sorry about that. We'll try to time that up. What, about 35 minutes into the stream? We'll put something in the comments when we post it up. Let everybody know to skip ahead 35 minutes. It was not the best quality. Obviously, my mic was 3 feet away. My light was off. Not going to be fantastic. But we're cooking now. We figured it out. We'll get better. We're getting better. You know, our players are getting better. We're getting better. Everybody's working through this season, right? Right as we come into the top 10, too. We're into the top 10. We're playing Wake Forest. This is to stand alone at the top of the ACC. And we get them at home. So we've got the advantage here. They're a good team. Let's see if we can take care of this one and stand alone atop the ACC, at least for a day. The Cards and the Demon Deacons. Oh, yes, we can. That's still Davenport, Cole, and Seaman making things happen. Love to see it. We're getting there. We're getting there. 9-0. Wake's 8-1. Keep on moving, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, on the road at the Miami Hurricanes. They look like another tough team. So, interesting how it plays out. We're almost into February. It's about to get real. The Cards and the Hurricanes from the Watsco Center. Okay. Doesn't really flow off the tip of my tongue. Not one of the first venues I think of when I think of college basketball. But surely going to be a tough place to play against a very tough team. Let's see if we can keep it rolling here in the ACC. Can we stay undefeated, or do we finally fall to the Hurricanes? Yeah, fall hard. And Danny Brown suffers an injury. And we got an email that needs to be tended to. So we got hurt. We got blown out. Nothing good coming out of that Miami game. Let's check the email. Post-game incident. Jay Williams mouthing off about Michael Miller. Angelo Seaman not enjoying the coaching staff is problematic. All right, so we need to check on Angelo. He's probably pissed that we're playing him out of position. He doesn't like the coaching staff, but he's got an 87 overall relationship with the coaching staff, so we can't be that angry about it. I'm not going to worry too much about what Jay Williams says. He's pissed off. Jay Williams expects starters minutes. Yeah, that's the wrong expectation to have when you're 2 stars backing up a 4-star. Sorry, buddy. That's just not going to cut it. Miller's significantly better than you, especially defensively. That's not worried. All right, so the blowout is the biggest problem there. Let's see what Brown's injury looks like. Sprained finger for 14 days. We can live with that. Keep rolling. We had to lose sooner or later in the ACC. I don't mind it. We should have a tiebreaker against Wake, so we'll keep trucking through here. Virginia Tech coming into play. I like it. I think we bounce back here. Get to 10-1 in the ACC. Number 6 in the country. That feels good, doesn't it? Number 6. Woo. 85-64. Davenport, Michael Miller with 8 assists. That's not too shabby for a first-year guy. 8 assists. I like it. I'm enjoying what Miller's done for us. It's been an extremely important transfer. And that's probably the reason that Miller expects starters minutes. Is coming into this season, he was the best point guard on the roster until Miller transferred in. So Maybe it pissed him off. Maybe he thought he was going to just walk into a starting job as a 2-star freshman, but it's not how we roll in the Ville. I'm not dealing with that. Bring us a transfer. Hurry it up. Ask somebody in the CBGM how I deal with the transfer market. We're bringing them in, baby. Give me those transfers. Love them. On the road at Pitt. So, another potential trap. We've done pretty good about avoiding a lot of these, but, traps are traps for a reason. Eventually, one of them springs on you. We took care of Pitt at home. Can we avoid falling on the road? Yeah, 9 points. And Davenport, again, just crushing it. 19-10. Another double. I just stopped calling him out in the last stream because it was literally every single game. Davenport's the MVP, and he got a double-double. It happened night in and night out. And, I guess at this point I should probably just stop calling it. He's going to do that. I'll start talking about the other players because we know what Davenport's going to give us. He's going to give us a double-double. He's going to give us a player-of-the-game performance. So I'll call it out when somebody other than Davenport does it. How about that? Save my voice, It's what we call a lazy streamer. I'll just be lazy. I'll say, oh, he did it again. Oops, he did it again. I don't know if I can pull that off. Here we go. On the road against the Fighting Agalias. Cards headed into South Bend to play against a 9-12 Notre Dame Fighting Irish. $81.66. Can't. He did what we expected. He did what we expected. Man, I don't know. There could be a better freshman. I don't know if he'll be ACC Player of the Year again, but he certainly should be a first teamer, and he's certainly making another statement to try to make another All-American team. Will he choke in the tournament? Who choke in the tournament? Are you talking about me or Agalia or Davenport? Or Miller, or somebody else that I'm not even thinking of. All right, so we're back atop the ACC. Everybody else with at least 2 losses. All right, and so home game against a bad Syracuse team. This is the kind of loss that just would crush you. So you got to come out and you got to take them serious. You got to show up and play. Take it one possession at a time. Should be a beatdown. 107-80. Guess who? He's ridiculous. He's ridiculous. Fantastic player. There's a lot of people that are mad at me over in the CBGM about the way I handled a transfer player named Ralph Norman. I made him a backup center, even though he should have started. I did it purely because he was a senior, and he was going to be gone either way, and my other center was not quite as good, but I didn't want him to transfer out. Norman Shepard. Norman Shepard, I think. And so a lot of people are mad at me about that. A lot of people think that's one of my bigger mistakes. I think not starting Jamie Davenport as a freshman might have been worse. Might have been worse. You start this kid 4 years, he might be the all-time great at Louisville. Number 3 Cardinals head on the road, John Paul Jones Arena against the Virginia Cavaliers. 13-12 overall. Where do they stand in conference? Virginia is 5-9. Go do your thing, Cards. Well, all right, they got it. He who doesn't have to be mentioned taking care of business. Wasn't a blowout, but it was comfortable. It wasn't a 1 or 2 point squeaker. We got by 8 or 9. No ship. He doesn't have a ship yet. No ship yet. And don't put that curse on us. No ship. No ship yet. We're number 3 in the country. We're sitting at 22-3. We're 14-1. We got a first-year point guard, and we're already here. Let's go see how he's developed. Let's go see how things are going to shake out. No ship yet. Five and 19 Boston College. Double them up. 91-68. Not quite doubling them up. You see Danny Brown coming off the bench with was that 9 and 10, I believe? So trying for his double-double. He's trying to make the point, like, hey, I'm here too. It's not just Jamie and Angelo. I'm over here too. But by and large, it's been Jamie and Angelo all season. And it's sprinkling in a little bit of Cole, sprinkling in a little bit of Greenberg. And now look at this. North Carolina, 17-8, 9-6 in the ACC, 17th in the net, and unranked. That's really unfair for them. It's a really strong rating in the net to be unranked. But 9-6 in the ACC, depending on who those losses are to, if they went to Boston College or Georgia Tech and lost a game, maybe that explains it. I don't know. Unfortunate for them, but that's a top 25 quality team. Regardless of what ranking they earn, the quality's there. The Tar Heels coming into Louisville. Oh, and they pushed us. Cole, Seaman, and Greenberg held on. I don't know where he was. I know Caitlin Clark likes to just be she. I don't know where he was. But, Seaman, Greenberg, and Cole got us across the finish line. And so we held off a frisky UNC Tar Heels team. Now we get the Dukies again. Blue Devils sitting below 500 overall. Below 500 in the ACC, below 100 in the net. You just have to take care of business here. And we do by 30. He's back. Chris Cole's still here. Mike Miller never left. And now we're pushing tournament time. And we're flirting with 1-seed territory. We're flirting with 1-seed territory. 18-1. Do we have, 2 conference games left? Clemson at home at Florida State. All right, big ones. These are big ones, ladies and gentlemen. Clemson at home. Love playing them at home. We got the road victory. A little bit of a surprise. Right, what was our one conference loss? It wasn't Clemson, was it? Wake, Virginia Tech, UNC. It was Miami, right? We lost at Miami? Yeah, by 30. All right. Let's see how we can do against the Tigers from the Yum Center. Now, if we win here, hold off in our last game, and make a decent run in the ACC tournament, we're staring right down the barrel of a 1 seed. First, you got to take care of business against Clemson, though. Need a win here. You need a win here. Top 5 matchup from the banks of the Ohio River. The KFC Yum Center. The Clemson Tigers come in at 24-3 overall, 15-3 in the ACC, looking to challenge the number 2 Louisville Cardinals. Who's coming out on top in this top 5 battle of ACC opponents? And it's going to be the Cardinals by 12. And it's going to be Angelo Seaman with 19-19. The freshman, 19-19. Angelo Seaman. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. We're feeling good, ladies and gentlemen. Feeling real good. We got one more at Florida State. We're winning the ACC regular season. We're going into the ACC tournament as the number 1 overall seed in that tournament. And now we just need to go and check, see kind of how that development's going with the sets and whether or not we want to bump that 5% or keep it where it is. It's kind of hard to mess with a good thing, especially when you got Angelo jumping out every now and then, flirting with 20 points. So, if we were struggling hard on the road, maybe we think about a change. So we've got a good chance here against a good but not great Florida State team to see are we struggling on the road. We've got a few neutral court games in the ACC tournament to figure that out. Let's see what happens here against a good but not great Florida State team. That record, that net, that looks like a trap. Like I said earlier, traps can spring at any time. There it is, 79-78. Got us by 1. Can't fall asleep on those games. Can't fall asleep on them. So it drops us to 18-2, and the biggest thing that's going to have an effect on is, it's going to depend on how this ACC tournament goes, honestly. We've got to see how this goes. Right now we're jockeying for a 1 seed. Without that loss, we were maybe competing for the number 1 overall seed. I don't know. With that loss, makes it a lot harder. But, if we were going to throw out a clunker, let's get it out of the way in the regular season. Let's get on to the tournament. Let's make things happen. First, let's take a look at that set percentage and ability. So, Miller's only at 50. Angelo's only at 57. Greenberg at 100. Shin, Walton, Cole, Davenport. Let's bump it to 70. We got a whole lot of players that know this offense in and out. And 2 of them that are decent at it. Let's bump it to 70 and see what happens. 26-4 overall. 18-2 in the ACC. So, maybe they took their foot off the gas a little bit. They knew they had the regular season championship wrapped up. They knew they had the number 1 seed in the ACC tournament wrapped up. So now, you win some games in the ACC tournament, you're still looking at a 1 seed. You're still looking at, you could still compete for the number 1 overall, but you got to win this tournament. Just getting to that championship game might have had it before, but now it doesn't. If you want the number 1 overall, if you want to even be thought of, you better win this tournament. All right. We played Oregon State earlier in the year. Immediately they got their chance for revenge. Here's our turnaround. Florida State just interrupted a perfectly nice end to the regular season for us. Now we get them on a neutral court from somewhere in North Carolina in the ACC tournament. Seminoles and the Cardinals for the second time in a row. Can the Cardinals get their revenge, or will the Seminoles send them home early? The Cardinals got their revenge, but not by much. Not by much, but they got it. All right. So now the revenge tour continues. We had an absolutely dreadful game in Miami. Now we get Miami on a neutral court. The Hurricanes and the Cardinals for the right to play the Tigers in the finals of the ACC tournament. Can Louisville get revenge for a horrible loss in Miami, or does Miami bounce them out in the semifinals of the ACC championship? No, Louisville gets their revenge. You know who comes through big time. Chris Cole comes through with 15 points. The Cardinals move on, and now we have another. We already had one tremendous matchup between 2 top 5 teams. That one from the Yum. I believe we also got them away on the road. So we're 2-0. They get them for a third time. I don't think you can beat a team like Clemson. I don't think you can beat a top 5 team 3 times in 1 year. I don't think you can do it. Oh, I hit the button too fast. And they got us. So I was right. We didn't do it. They got us by 3. We got them on the road. We got them at home. They got the neutral court. They got their revenge. That happens. We got to the finals, so we're not going to be a number 1 overall seed. we're still in very strong contention. With this, Clemson probably should climb up and take that last one from us. We should be at 2. Watch your speakers real quick. All right, so we'll watch the show and see what happens. I expect we're either the last 4 or one of the top few 2s. All right, we got some play-ins. So this should be the number 1 overall. Texas. All right. K-State with a 2 seed. Baylor a 3. Creighton a 4. Kentucky with a 5 seed. So they fell off a little bit. 22 and 11. Clemson grabs a 1 seed. Illinois a 2. Butler, Florida. There's Kent State. We mentioned them earlier for not the best reasons. Louisville does get a 1. And so I would imagine that's the 3rd overall number 1 seed. Texas A&M, who we played earlier in the year, gets a 2 in this region. So Ohio State a 3, Villanova the 4, and UNC is in this region. That would be a potential second-round matchup. And that would be a very, very difficult second-round matchup. I would love to see Houston win that game. UNC gave us a real tough time at home. That could be a second-round bounce in the making. Kansas grabs a 1. UAB with a 2 seed. Whoo, where's my UAB fans? Aztecs, Wake, Michigan State, and Izzo. And that's the tournament. All right. So grabbing a 1 seed, if it weren't for what happened a few streams ago, I'd feel pretty good about it. At this point, take it for what it's worth. It's better than not getting a 1 seed, but no guarantees. And then right there in that second round, looming big, the Tar Heels of North Carolina. That could be a massive disappointment. It could be a massive step back in the rebuild that we're trying to get going here. I think they're really underseeded. They feel like a really good team. And this was a tough ACC. All right. First, we got to get past the Golden Eagles of Tennessee Tech. And again, happened to me before. There's no guarantees here. Oh, and Houston knocks them out. All right, so at least we're not playing North Carolina in the second. I do not know how good Houston is. I know North Carolina's a quality team, so glad to see them get bounced, honestly. Although a little bit scary that Houston beat them by that much. All right, 89, 23-point win. Good, good, good. Move it on. All right, so Houston 23 and 11 grabs a 9 seed. Not sure what they are in conference or the net, so we don't get that information here on this screen once we get to the tournament, unfortunately. So something to think about. I like seeing that information. Kind of disappointed not to have it here on this screen. But the Cougars of Houston playing Louisville. No, don't reset your television. Don't check to see if we're in a time machine. It's not 1983. We got no. Geez, I don't even remember. Well, obviously, I was born in '83, so I don't know who was on Louisville's team at that point. I know Houston was rocking Clyde the Glide Drexler and Hakeem Olajuwon. Right? Was it Hakeem? I know it was Clyde. Was Hakeem the other one on Houston? Am I mixing that up? But Clyde's enough. That's all you need. Houston was legit in '83. Not today, son! 76-68. We did suffer an injury. Let's see what that's all about. Again, I'm still getting used to how they switch this dashboard around a little bit. Oh, Greenberg. Sore arm for 6 days. I think we have a game in 5 days. But I think we roll with him. Let's see who we're playing. So a close second-round game, but we got it done. We're moving on to the Sweet 16. Now, this is about where I expected the season to be. Getting to the Sweet 16, maybe competing for an Elite Eight berth. But we said, get to the Sweet 16, see what happens. Anything can happen at this point, and we get a 13 seed in Alabama State. So, is that a break or not? You know, when you start talking about 13 seeds making the Sweet 16, you got to worry, like, is this team just on a roll? Like, is this a team that got underseeded and they're on a roll? Or did we catch a break with a weird kind of upset? You would expect a 13 seed to be done day one, and here they are in the second weekend. All right, did we already sim today? Yeah, we did. All right, let's get it. Alabama State and Louisville in the Sweet 16 with a chance to go to the Elite Eight on the line. And the Cards take care of business by 19. You know who leads the way. Clemson's still rolling in an absolute shock division, 1 versus 2. 1 moves on, so Clemson into the Final Four now. Put a pretty good beating on a pretty good Illinois team. And now we get Green Bay in the Elite Eight. So again, same question. Are we getting lucky, or is this a bad team on a roll? Or not a bad team on a roll, just an underseeded team on a roll. As you saw, Kansas just slipped by UAB, so UAB must have been extremely legit. Let's see. The Cardinals versus Green Bay. Is Green Bay extremely legit as we compete for a chance to move on to the Final Four? Cardinals get by 13 points, a double-double from Angelo. Let's go back and take a look at the brackets. Here we are. We're sitting in the Final Four. I believe this is the first time in this stream we're in the Final Four. We have to go back. Maybe MBB, if you're still in here, have you watched all the streams? Is this our first Final Four for this save? Let's take a look at game grid. Look at the NCAA tournament. So East Rutherford. We had Texas get knocked off by Cal. The 13 seed Zags knocked Kentucky out. And then the Zags and K-State, 2 versus 13. Miami falls to Kansas State. All right, and we get Kansas State a 2 seed into the Final Four. In Indy, Clemson, Illinois, that's chalk. Clemson takes it. In Austin, MBB confirms this is our first Final Four in this save. In Austin, we saw what happened. Louisville got perhaps got the easiest path possible, with the exception of we had to play Green Bay instead of UC Davis or Texas State. That would have been easier. Otherwise, we got the easiest path possible to the Final Four. Not that I'm complaining. You know, I've had some hard paths before. I've had some tough ones before. We'll take this. It doesn't prove anything to me, but it's a berth in the Final Four, and I'll absolutely take it. First time on the Final Four on this save. Prestige is going up regardless of what happens from here on out. And in Albuquerque, what do we have? Well, once again, it was chalk, and it was you look at the Elite Eight. Kansas beat number 13 seed Mercer, and it was relatively close. UAB had a tough one against San Diego State, so pretty tough out here in this, actually the Sweet 16. Here in the Elite Eight, Kansas slips by UAB. So we got Kansas, Louisville, Clemson, and K-State in the Final Four. Louisville faces Kansas, K-State against Clemson. Could we have a fourth matchup between the Cards and the Tigers? Is that in the books? Is it in the books? Let's go back to the game grid. Never know. We could have big things on the horizon. We got big things on the horizon either way. We either got big wins or we got big disappointments. One way or the other, it's getting big. MBB says to check out the paper up here. All right. Let's check out Clemson K-State first. Here's your game preview. Here's your favorite. Here's your over-under. Here's your leaders. Here's your team stats. So let's see what happens between the Tigers and the Tigers of Clemson and the Wildcats of K-State. Clemson, 82-73. Now, they stole our ACC championship from us. We won the regular season. We beat them twice in the regular season, and they stole a banner. Jamie Davenport, if you want your banner back, first you got to take down Kansas. Angelo Seaman, if you want your banner back, first you got to take down Kansas. Chris Cole, you're a senior. First you got to take down Kansas. One step at a time. The Jayhawks and the Cardinals. It's not from the KFC Yum Center. This is a neutral court game. Just check out the game preview. Louisville by 1 is the line. So this is a coin toss. And we had some good luck with coin tosses in the out-of-conference schedule. Now we're on a neutral court. Now we're into March. Who's really got it? 2 1 seeds facing off for the right to play for the national championship. Look at Jamie. Whew. Oh, my word. What a player. No injuries for either team. You can check out the team stats here. Pretty consistent across the board. Big game. Cross your fingers, cross your toes, cross your ears, whatever else you got. It's the Cards and the Jayhawks in the Final Four. April 1st, 2029. For the right to play the Clemson Tigers in the national championship game. Boom! Boom! Chris Cole, seniors coming through. 90-88, Cards. Give us our rematch. Give us our banners back, Clemson. You take the conference one. We'll take the real one. We want the one. No, you keep the one that says ACC. We want the one that says NCAA. We want that one. Bring that one to the Yum Center. That's the one we want. That's the one we want. Clemson's the favorite by 3.5. For the 4th time this year. For the 4th time this year. The Tigers and the Cardinals. For the banner. $78-66. Clemson got us by 12. We won at Clemson. And they got us twice on a neutral court. They only shot 20% from 3. We only shot 12% from 3. 30 rebounds, 32, 22 assists. They did better there. Steals were big. Blocks were all right. Turnovers hurt us. Davenport with 4, Miller with 8 turnovers. So there you see the first-year point guard. We talked about it the entire stream, and that's absolutely brutal. Now, I wonder if that's not their point guard with 6 turnovers. So we were both pressing, but they beat us by 5 turnovers. And that's 5 steals. Points in the second chance points, they beat us up pretty even on fast break points. So that's just dreadful 3-point shooting. Absolutely sunk us. Greenberg 0 for 7. Can't do that. Can't do that. And look, we were winning at the half. They just blew us out in the second half. 13 points. A little bit more well-rounded. They even had some foul trouble. We really didn't. They just got after us. And nobody stepped it up other than Davenport. Seaman, 9 points. Chris Cole, senior, hey, where you at? 2 for 7, 5 points. Miller, absolutely nothing. Greenberg, nothing. Shin gave us a little bit off the bench. So it was just nothing other than Jamie Davenport there. All right, so we don't have any elite players. We still made it to the finals. Watch your speakers again. We're going to go to awards. I'll skip it pretty quick. I'll skip the music pretty quick. Okay. Oh, 4 or 5 streams in. National runner-up. It's not horrible. All right, so nothing nationally there. Look at the UAB Norton Award winner, Seth Alexander. First teamers, second teamers. Jamie Davenport, a second team All-American once again. We take a look at the ACC. Here's your second teamers. Brennan Lyons, the guy that transferred away from us once again, a second team All-ACCer for the Cuse Orange. First teamers, all we got is Davenport. Individually, Davenport Player of the Year again. Seaman Freshman of the Year, so I'm kind of surprised he wasn't first or second team. And then, of course, Clemson's coach grabs Coach of the Year. So Davenport, back-to-back ACC Player of the Year, back-to-back second team All-American. Heck of a player, heck of a career at the Ville. Ah, man, that's frustrating. All right. Got to move on. Got to pick it up. Hey, the prestige is going to jump, and we're about to find out how much. Here's the season review. 71 to 76. All right, not huge because we didn't win the ACC championship, because we didn't win the NCAA championship, but jumping up 5 more points. You know, I was hoping we were going to get more like 8. You know, maybe get us up close to 80. But this is very much moving in the right direction, and this is on the borderline of being able to recruit nationally, especially because, like, my coach is 100s across the board. I don't play around with, like, the lower level coaches. But we improved the prestige, 120 games. Everything else is fine. We're going to delete everything here. Check out this coaching carousel. We'll just see which head coach jobs are available. UConn, Arkansas. UConn's got to be looking at Clemson's coach, right? Get him out of the conference. I don't want to play him again. The jerk stole both my banners this year. We had a fantastic season except for 2 games. I don't think we need any staff, do we? Oh, yeah, we do. We need a first and a second assistant. So we've got a practice guy. Can I put him up? Will this just put him to second? Hold on. Let's go hire a first assistant. Then I'm going to hit that button and make this guy second assistant. I like him better as a second assistant. I like my scout to be the third assistant. And I don't remember exactly how much money we have. I'm going to try to keep this around 100,000. Joel Justice, first assistant, 90,000. He's a 90. Ricardo Greer, unemployed, 81. We don't fall off too much after Greer. Let's go talk to Justice and let's see. You know, would you take? Can we just do 100,000? Got to see the school info. Got to do some math real quick. All right, so we start at 303. We got 30. So 125 into facilities. 125 leaves us about 175. I think we can do 100. Let's do 5 years. First assistant, make that offer. If he takes this, we bump up that third assistant. Yeah, he took it. Sweet. All right. Keep the plan moving. You get the bump. All right, now let's take a look at the school info. Do the math one more quick time. Assistants are costing us $150 plus the $130. $280. Oh no, I cut that a little bit too close. We need to be well lower, didn't we? So, nah. 152. Yeah, cut that too close. So that doesn't leave us. Oh, recruiting costs 20. Yeah, screwed that one up. Needed to be about 30,000 lower. We probably only really had about 80, 85 to spend on him. Or we should have left the second assistant a little bit lower. So we're going to be tight on recruiting next year, but we'll figure it out probably with cuts to facilities because our facilities have fallen off. So be it. Live and learn. Let's drop both these down. Find out who's willing to scout for cheap. Matt Grady will do it for about $20,000. And we also still can request a budget increase this year. So after just going to the national championship game, never know what might happen. Matt Grady took the job, so we've got a staff that we like. We're just tight on budget. See if we can fix that with end-of-year tasks. Otherwise, we're going to have to cut about $30,000 out of our facilities budgets, which, it's not ideal, but we'll figure it out. So I'm just trying to think I hope Seaman does not transfer. And I hope we at least... Well, we're bringing in everything but a point guard. So we'll see how it goes. Let's see what this looks like. Hatcher, Williams, and Braun. Williams and Braun both want to leave. We want to keep one of those two. Nobody going pro early. These recruits look fantastic. Miller will stick around. So out of Braun and Williams, Williams actually played this year, but he's more likely to transfer. Let's take a look at Travis. 4-3. 4-5. He's a better defender. He doesn't like the coach. He expected starters minutes. Yeah, I can see why he's pissed. He doesn't really care. He at least knows our stuff. He would be a decent backup, not fantastic. Let's see if we can improve the coach relationship. And we want budget. Request denied. All right, so budget's going to be tight. And we really didn't convince Braun to stick around. We actually convinced him to leave. All right, well, that's like a triple fail. Sounds like something that like a skater does in the Olympics. Triple fail axel or something. What a letdown. After a run to the national championship game, we lose to Clemson. Then we overpay to promote a coach. Then we talk our backup point guard into transferring. And our board rejects us. So, the stream went like, whoop. I'm not taking back all this progress, but it was a sharp downward turn at the end. Let's see what this looks like. We're going to get through at least to find out who is transferring in and out. I don't think I can actually get to transfers and get through that. We had a fantastic recruiting class, obviously. Let's check out this budgeting screen. So as of right now, we only have 7,000 for recruiting. Clearly, that's not going to work. We need to clear up about 23,000. So let's... 23,000. Yikes. Let's get 10,000 of it back right here. All right, and so we still need about 13. Let's take 3 from each. Let's just 80. Give them back 1 each. I hate going too low on these other ones. I feel like facilities helps a lot with recruiting, but I don't want to like absolutely kill training and wellness. So, I mean, we're still well above the expected facility spend here. Our facilities just keep falling even though we're spending over every year. Oh, and we're still way too low. We're still 10,000 off. No, it's got to come here. That's still not exactly where I would like it, but it's going to have to do for now. I would like that to be about 30,000 higher. We've got to get this budget up. We just have to. But this will work. We'll get by. You know, we got a fantastic recruiter. We'll survive. No. We're not jumping schools. We're not doing any of that. Absolutely not. We're bringing this back. We're up to 76 prestige. 76 prestige is around the mark where you're absolutely going to start dominating regional recruiting, especially with an assistant as good as we just got that's a recruiter, especially with my head coach closing. So we're going to do fantastic there. We don't need to worry about that. You know, the amenities being low is problematic. I don't know if it's as problematic in a single player save as it would be in like the CBGM, but you know, we're surviving. We're going to make this work, and we're going to keep on pushing this prestige. Let's take a look now and find out who transferred out. Hatcher, Williams, and Robbins. Was Hatcher the... I know Williams was a point. Braun stuck around. All right, so Travis Braun stuck. Robbins was the freshman power forward. Which is unfortunate, but we brought in another one. All right, so unfortunately, just based on what's going on and how the night's kind of going, we're going to have to cut the stream here. But before we do that, we are going to take a look. We will take a look at who is interested first. Let's let the anticipation build, right? We got 4 scholarships available for the transfer portal. See, do we have any crazy interest? Yeah, hell, we got some interest at the small forward. And given that we just lost 2 seniors, that's promising. Given that their ratings suck, that's not promising. Let's take a look overall. Power forward out of Florida. Very good looking player. Got the cleanup badge. 4.5-star dude. MOP? What? From Clemson. So this is one of the dudes that just whooped our butt. Hey, worth a shot, right? He doesn't know our offense at all. Princeton and triangle. So that's how they were beating us. With the Princeton and triangle. Very good against the zones. Got a good man. Got a good... little bit of everything. But he's a senior, so you expect him to know the offense and the defense at that point. Fantastic player. A couple of guards. I don't know that they're going to be interested, but let me take a look. Leonard Martin's a hard pass. All right. I don't know that there's a transfer out there that we really go for other than, like, we're probably going to give Trico a go. Like, why not? All right. And so, last but not least, let's take a look at what our roster looks like. All right. So, here we go. Michael Miller still sitting at 4 stars. Greenberg at 4. BB Harrison at 4.5. Freshman small forward Sean Dolly. I believe he was a red shirt, though. He's on 3. Will Reddick, 2.5. He's a true freshman. And then Wainwright, 3.5. Warren Rush, straight up 5 stars. Oh, my God. He's a beast. He was ranked 24th nationally. What was he at the camps? Now, maybe this is a re-rate. Maybe he re-rates down. But if you've got a guy who's 10-9 on scoring, on rebounding, and 9 on the inside, that's a beast to start with. If you add the 8 scoring and the cleanup badge, he's going to go nuts. And then you throw in 7 defensive ability and 9 shot blocking. If this is a re-rate, I'm going to be really disappointed. If he sticks around anything like this, anything even in this ballpark, in this galaxy, 7 stealing from a big man, 6 athleticism from a 6'9", 255-pound 17-year-old from Bay St. Louis, Mississippi. Where's the meme of the guy standing behind the tree like? That's what I'm doing right now for Warren Rush. If that holds, this dude might be player of the year. Let's take a look at Harrison, who was supposedly supposed to be our top freshman. He does have a lot of 7s. He's got a good outside shot. The defensive ability isn't quite there, and he has no badges. So, again, re-rates could hit. But it looks like we got 3 pretty good guards, a couple good swing men, 3 good guys on the inside. We don't need anything on this team. Let's go ahead and take a look at Wainwright. He's also got the cleanup badge. He's got a little bit of work to do in here. Good defensive rebounder. Again, you really hope that the re-rates bump him up a little bit. A lot of this is fairly disappointing. But with the star level, I feel like it's going to jump a little bit. Maybe not a lot, but a little bit. Unless the star rating's what's going to fall, which is possible. So maybe we look for a big man from the transfer portal. I feel like the rest of the team's pretty solid, honestly. Braun, the freshman, I mean, he'll be a sophomore. No, he was a redshirt. So, I mean, it's fantastic for a backup, for a freshman backup. Greenberg, the senior, 7s. Really just an outside shot. He's not doing anything from the inside. Good defensive rebounder. Nothing on offense. Decent athlete. The redshirt Dolly. Ugh. Not excited about him, really. I like Reddick a little bit better, honestly. But again, it's all going to come down to re-rates. I would say we're probably starting... hard to say. I got a little bit of a logjam in here. Interesting. I'll have to think about this off stream. But that's what we got for next year. And I'm gonna stream's over. Thank you all for watching. I had a ton of fun. I hope that you guys did too. I'll cut the stream. I'll save it. I'll think about it in between now and then. And I'll catch y'all next time. Until then, this has been Cards for GM Games, playing you all some first access, early access, Draft Day Sports, College Basketball 2024. We made the finals. We got denied by Clemson. They stole all our banners. You know, frustrated, but coming for you. Thanks, guys. Y'all take it easy.